So Lake Alice is a fairly recent Christmas horror film, Christmas slasher film you can call, directed by Ben Milliken. That's how you pronounce that. And this is a lower budget, definitely independent film that has a really great atmosphere in it. There's a lot of things that do fall apart for this film. Just the way it's structured. And I'll get into that. Don't want to jump too ahead of myself. It's not a very long watch either. I'd say like it's between an hour and 10 to an hour and 15 minutes, and it does fall under the slasher kind of territory. Although a lot of the slashing takes place more in the third act. Now, this film, unfortunately, the biggest disappointment about this film that I had is that it it built up to an expectation that it didn't deliver, story wise, plot wise, and payoff wise. I would say. What we have going on here is we have this family that meet up at their Christmas cottage. They wanted to take a vacation to this Christmas cottage. Now the parents and their daughter basically, who's has a boyfriend, and throughout the film they get engaged. But the daughter and her boyfriend slash fiance are vacationing on their own, and then their parents are vacationing on their own. They meet up, and then they go to this cabin. And when they travel to this cabin to spend Christmas there, uh, right off the bat, the film builds this huge tension, which this huge tension is fantastic and great. All the townsfolk don't like these people, but it's never revealed really why. On their drive there, they get pulled over by this police officer who's very, um, you know, standoffish with them. You can tell that this guy has some kind of vendetta, but it's never said what. And you can tell that this family is basically coming back to this small town where the parents grew up, we're assuming, and they're coming back to bad blood. You're introduced to this guy named Tyler, and Tyler has a romantic history with the main girl, Sarah, who's now about to be engaged, or is engaged throughout the film, with this new guy named Ryan. And then this guy named Tyler is an old friend of Sarah's. Like I said, they had romantic history, and then that's brought up, and then basically everybody in this town seems to have some kind of bad history with this family, and being a horror movie and turning into a slasher film, it really builds a great situation for like a whodunit kind of thing, because the villains look great. They have these ski masks with these like black eyes, and they're very rugged looking. And then they have these parkas over their heads, and it like for slasher villains, excuse me, it looks really really good and really well done, and the atmosphere is creepy. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get too into spoilers on where this goes in the end, but it really I will say that this film in the third act feels very much like Scream, in the sense where they do reveal a lot of killers that you weren't expecting for one, and it's played off on kind of comical, because I will say like when they started to reveal and make a lot of the reveals, I was saying like please like don't make a stupid reveal. Like I already can tell that there's a stupid reveal coming, and then it's just as I predicted. All the reveals were kind of like, do they really have to go there? Like they had such a good, tense, like Strangers vibe, like the film The Strangers, that came out about like 2007, 2008, where they had these great villains, and then they built such a tense atmosphere. This is what this film had going so well, and then it just crumbled at the end for me. It wasn't for me. I'm not going to say don't check the film out, because it does have some great things going for it. But when it comes to the payoff and where they could have gone with it, it wasn't for me. The kills are okay. The tension is great. The acting mediocre to not that not that good. But it's not a film you go into expecting great acting anyway. So it just delivers in what it needs to deliver when it comes to the acting department and dramatic department, you can say. But I I'm not going to recommend it per se, but I will say, I mean, it's streaming on Tubi, so it's free. I will say check it out if you want to. And there's not too much Christmasness going on, other than it taking place on Christmas and them going to this cottage for a Christmas vacation. There's not a lot, and there being like a snowy atmosphere. It does feel really cold. Other than that, it's not very Christmassy per se. Does it feel cold? Yes, for sure. It does feel like a ski resort, mountain kind of location setting. This was filmed in Wisconsin, at an actual Lake Alice. So there is a Lake Alice in Wisconsin, close to the small town named Tomahawk, from the research that I did. And then at the very end too, like the very very end, there is another reveal that again was basically saying the same thing. I'm just like, just left me a little bit dry on the emotional level, I guess. But yeah, it's fine. A lot of people from reviews that I saw found this film to be very slow as well. Not for me, because see, another thing, here is probably where I wanted the film to go to. It would have been really well done if they didn't reveal the killers at all. Like a couple films that I watched recently, such as The Rental and The Open House. One thing that both of those films had that either you're gonna hate or you're gonna love is that there's no reveal and no motive for the killer. I think this film would work in something like that, because the way the director built up the tension from the first act and the second act, and revealed so many possibilities for where the killer can come from and what motives the killer would have, because everybody in this town is so villainous anyway, the way they behave and the way they're acting, that leaving more of a mystery in this film I think would have been better. Something that I would have appreciated a lot more. But, that's just me talking. I. I'm just giving my own opinion as my review. But maybe this film will work for somebody else. I mean, everybody's into their own things. There's different audiences, different strokes for different folks, as they say. But yeah, that's how I felt about the film. It is streaming free on Tubi, so if you're willing to check it out, it's not all bad, but it's definitely lacking in a lot, I would say. And I just I wish that third act was constructed a little better, because of how it started leading up to that. That's my take on it, and that's Lake Alice from 2017, but I think it was released in 2018. Regardless, it's on Tubi, like I said. So, Lake Alice, yeah, that's all I got on it. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you'd like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. Plenty more coming. Stay tuned for those if you're interested, and check out the ones on the channel already. So, till next time, till next review, take care, and cheers.